being from a Japanese family, is that something that you could really feel even just as an audience member before you even started voicing for Suzume, just as, like from an audience perspective?
Yeah, well, I think that there are a lot of themes in there about, one of the most central relationships that she has is with her aunt. And they kind of hash it out at one point, like their feelings about the fact that her aunt like raised her, and that there were a lot of sacrifices that had to be made. And I think that relationship was really interesting and beautiful to me, because it's also some of the stuff that they talk about is like, it really is integral in Japanese culture, this sense of like sacrifice out of love. And I think that in American culture, especially nowadays, we're emphasizing a lot of like self-care. I think that's all really important and valid. Like, do not get me wrong, because I know these terms because they're things that I'm also like integrating in my own life, like a lot of us are right now. But there's also like nuances in life, and like, with close relationships, it's hard to negotiate boundaries and all that. And I think that Japanese culture, they, it's a lot more about like sacrificing out of honor or respect or love over maybe finding your own pleasure, or chasing after your own desires. And so I think that that relationship in particular kind of speaks to that.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that because the culture is exactly how you said, at least from what I've observed, but yet the films and the shows that we're seeing speak to this sort of what's buried deeper, which is this desire to have, things for yourself and to express the way that you truly feel despite expectations.
Yeah, no, it's so true. And like, my mom, again, she's from Japan, and that was a huge reason why she came to the US, because the culture over there, I think, especially for her generation, she's older, and I don't know exactly what it's like now, but I think that there was always this big emphasis on like doing what's expected of you from society and like following these very strict rules. And yeah, that can be like, I think it can feel really constraining. And I think like for people like my mom, she wanted to feel a greater sense of freedom, but there are also like really beautiful things about the culture. And so yeah, nothing's ever black and white, obviously. It's all like, yin and yang, and trying to find that balance.